Title: The History of Artificial Intelligence. Structure overview. 1. Introduction: Why AI history matters. 2. Ancient origins, myths, automata, and pre-computing dreams. 3. Mathematical and philosophical foundations. 4. The birth of computing and formal AI. 5. AI winters and lessons learned. 6. Machine learning revolution and big data. 7. Modern era, deep learning and AGI dreams. 8. Ethical dilemmas and the future. 9. Conclusion. Part 1. Introduction: Why AI history matters. Hello and welcome back to the AI tutorial series. In this episode, we explore the rich and surprising history of artificial intelligence. But before we dive into dates and names, let's ask, why should we learn the history of AI? Because understanding where AI came from gives us insight into the future of technology, context for ethical decisions, inspiration for innovation. Artificial intelligence didn't appear suddenly. It's a story thousands of years in the making, filled with human dreams, mathematical breakthroughs, and even failures. So, let's begin this journey from myths and machines to algorithms and AGI. Part 2. Ancient origins, myths, automata, and pre-computing dreams. Long before machines, people dreamed of artificial life. Let's explore what that means, deeply and clearly. Human fascination with artificial life. Today, we think of robots and AI as modern inventions. But in reality, the dream of creating artificial beings, things that act alive, but aren't, goes back thousands of years. People in ancient civilizations were already imagining machines, creatures or beings that could think, move, or feel, even though they didn't have any modern technology. Let's break it down, culture by culture. 1. Greek myths, the earliest sci-fi. The ancient Greeks lived more than 2,500 years ago. They were master storytellers and thinkers. Many of their myths, stories, included ideas of intelligent, human-made creatures. Talos, the bronze robot. Talos was a giant man made of bronze, metal. He wasn't born, he was built, like a machine. Why it matters? Talos is one of the earliest fictional examples of a robot. Even though it was a myth, it shows that people thousands of years ago were already dreaming of machines that could move and act like humans. Pygmalion, a statue brought to life. Pygmalion was a sculptor who carved a beautiful statue of a woman. He fell in love with his creation and wished she were real. Why it matters? This myth is not about robots, but it explores a deep human desire, the idea that we can create life ourselves. Not through birth, but through skill, imagination, or technology. Just like how we now dream of creating intelligent AI. Pygmalion symbolizes the emotional side of artificial creation. 2. Jewish folklore, the Golem. From Jewish stories, we have the Golem, a man made out of clay, brought to life by magical rituals and sacred words. The Golem was usually created to protect people from danger. It followed instructions but had no soul or self-awareness. If uncontrolled, the Golem could become dangerous. Why it matters? The Golem is a metaphor for artificial intelligence. It does what it's told. It's strong but lacks understanding or morality. And if misused, it can become a threat. This idea fits very closely with how we see AI today, powerful tools that must be used carefully. 3. Islamic Golden Age, real mechanical creations. Jumping forward to the Islamic Golden Age, 8th to 14th centuries, we find real engineers who weren't just telling stories. They were actually building early machines. Al-Jazari, 1206 CE, lived in what is now modern-day Turkey. Wrote a famous book called The Book of Knowledge of Ingenious Mechanical Devices. He built mechanical automata. These were real machines that moved using water, gears, and gravity. Examples: water-powered musicians that played instruments, automated servants that poured drinks or washed hands. Why it matters? These weren't robots in the modern sense. They couldn't think, but they were the first steps toward building lifelike machines. Al-Jazari shows us that the dream of simulating life wasn't just in myths, it became a scientific and mechanical challenge. Final thoughts for this part. The dream of creating life or intelligence isn't new. From the mythical Talos to the emotional Pygmalion, to the dangerous Golem, and the mechanical marvels of Al-Jazari, humanity has always wanted to create beings in its own image. Part 3, Philosophical and Mathematical Foundations. Now we move into more serious attempts to describe thought as logic. René Descartes described the mind as a machine, hinting at computational theories of the brain. Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz imagined a universal language of logic, dreamed of a machine that could calculate thoughts like arithmetic. George Boole created Boolean logic, the basis of modern computer science. These thinkers planted the seeds for treating thought as computation. Even before computers, our ancestors were already asking, can we create life? Can we make something think? What happens if it does? These stories prepared us for the journey into real AI centuries later. Part 4, Birth of Computing and Formal AI. Now we enter the 20th century. The true beginning of artificial intelligence. Alan Turing, 1936. Proposed the Turing machine, a model of general-purpose computation. Later introduced the Turing test: can a machine mimic human conversation convincingly? John von Neumann developed the stored program computer, the architecture we still use today. The Dartmouth Conference, 1956. This is where AI got its name. Every aspect of learning, or any other feature of intelligence, can in principle be so precisely described that a machine can be made to simulate it. John McCarthy. Attendees included Marvin Minsky, Herbert Simon, Alan Newell, and others. First AI programs. Logic theorist, 1955, solved math problems. General problem solver, 1957. Attempted general reasoning. Part 5, AI winters and overhyped promises. Progress slowed in the 1970s and 1980s. Why? Overpromising. Early AI promised too much too soon. Programs struggled with common sense and ambiguity. Eliza, 1966, early chatbot that mimicked a therapist. Impressive, but lacked real understanding. First AI winter, 1974 to 1980. Government funding dropped. Computers lacked the power to support AI ambitions. Second AI winter, late 1980s, early 90s. Even expert systems failed in complex domains. AI was considered a dead field by many. But these winters forced researchers to rethink, simplify, and start fresh. Part 6, the machine learning revolution. In the 2000s, everything changed. Why? Cheap computing. Big data explosion. Better algorithms. Geoffrey Hinton, 2006. Reintroduced deep learning using neural networks. IBM Watson, 2011, beat humans on Jeopardy by understanding and processing natural language. ImageNet Challenge, 2012. Deep neural nets began beating humans in image recognition. These advances made AI practical for self-driving cars, voice assistants, translation tools, e-commerce. Part 7, Modern AI, LLMs, Robotics, and AGI Dreams. Now we live in the era of modern artificial intelligence. LLMs, large language models, ChatGPT, Bard, Claude, Gemini, tools that can write, think, and interact. They learn from billions of words and improve rapidly. Robotics and automation, Tesla, Waymo, self-driving cars. Boston Dynamics, realistic robots. Amazon AI, warehouse automation. Medicine, AI helps detect cancer, predict health risks, and even design drugs. Generative AI, create music, art, videos, code, and more. But this rise also brings questions. Part 8, Ethics, Dangers, and the Future. As AI becomes more powerful, we must ask, who controls AI? Can AI become conscious? Will it replace jobs or create new ones? Risks, misinformation, deepfakes. Bias in data. Job displacement. Solutions, transparent algorithms. AI ethics education, global regulations. The future of AI is not just technical, it's political, social, and ethical. Conclusion: a journey still unfolding. From ancient myths to today's smart machines, our story is a reflection of human imagination and ambition. And the most exciting part: we are still writing the next chapter. If you want to shape the future of AI, learn, build, and imagine, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for the next episode.